Hey guys, today I'm doing another makeup declutter, and this is going to be a pretty big one. I was really ruthless when going through my collection, and I went through brushes, makeup, and yeah, I'm really excited to share everything with you. None of these products are really bad. Some of them just stopped working for me, and some of them I just want to pass on to friends because I just don't need them in my collection. So let's get into it. This is probably going to be a longer video, but I'm so excited to get rid of this stuff and pass this on to friends and family. So let's get into it. First, I'm just going to quickly go through my brushes. I have two DUCare brushes, and they're not bad brushes at all. I just have a lot of brushes that already serve the purpose that these brushes are used for. So I have a flat definer brush. It still works perfectly fine. I've only used it a couple of times, but I have some angled brushes that I have that are a little bit better than this and just work a little bit better, but it still works perfectly fine. And then I have this brow brush right here, so it has a spoolie, and then it has an angled brush. I already have a brow brush that I like, that it's a little more stiff, so I'm just going to be passing these brushes on. They're fairly new. I do have another angled brush. I just have a lot of angled brushes for some reason, and I think this is either a Real Techniques Bold Metals one or a Real Techniques Bold Metals dupe. This is just a silver angled liner brush, so I don't need a ton of them. Next, I have my EcoTools Tapered Blush brush, and if you guys have been with me for a while, you would know that this was the brush I use all the time in my tutorials and get ready with me's. I just like another blush brush better than this one. The last time I used this one, it just brought my blush down so far, and I just did not like the look. I just want something a little bit more precise for my blush, so I'm going to pass this on. Next, I have some Real Techniques brushes, and the first one is this detailer brush. I think it is a detailer brush. I've had this for so long. I use this for cream shadow, concealer, a bunch of different stuff. I do have a brush that's similar from the DUCare line, which is a little bit newer, so I'm going to pass this on to a friend. It's still in great condition. And then I'm passing on this Real Techniques contour brush. I already have one of these, so I figured I don't need to have two because I only use one at a time. I use this every day for my contouring, so I love this brush a lot. I just don't need two of them. Now on to makeup, and boy, I have a lot, so let's get started. First, I have my Milani palette. This is the Bare Necessities Everyday Eyes. These are really great quality eyeshadows. As you can see, I've hit pan on two of them. I really enjoy the champagne shade. This one is okay. I just used it to highlight my brow bone. Considering depotting the champagne shade, let me know what you guys think. But I just have colors in all of these other eyeshadows, so I just want to lessen my collection and palettes a little bit and just give this to a friend or something. I'm sure they will be okay with the pans. If not, they can just repress it, or they can do whatever they want with it if they do want to have this palette. Really nice eyeshadows. As you can see, they're very pigmented and blendable. So here's what the pigment looks like on my hand. The matte didn't show up as well. I didn't swatch it that hard. But as you can see, they're very pigmented eyeshadows. I think I might depot the champagne shade. I really enjoy that shade. But for the rest of the palette, I just have shades in my palettes that I already have. This one I just don't need, so I'm going to pass it on. I guess continuing with eyeshadows, I do have this Colourpop eyeshadow in Hustle. It is a matte purple shade, and it is pretty. There's a swatch of it. I just only used it a couple times, and I just wasn't using it all the time, so I don't want it to dry out while I have it, so I figured might as well just pass it on to someone who will use it more than me. It's a really beautiful color, as you can see here, but again, I just wasn't using it, so I don't want it sitting and just drying out in my collection, so hopefully a friend will enjoy this. I am going to pass on this palette that I got from Beauty Big Bang. I mentioned in that video I wasn't sure what I was doing with it. I was considering depotting the colors that I wanted, but I can just repurchase those colors if I really want to. So this is the Focallure eyeshadow palette, and it's in the shade 3, and this is like a pinky warm tone palette, as you can see here. Here are a couple swatches from the palette. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes could use some work, but I do enjoy the palette. I just don't need it in my collection. I have other colors that are similar. I could purchase some of these more pinky tones if I really wanted to, but I just don't see a point in keeping this palette when I have other eyeshadows that I enjoy a little bit better. But for the price, this is I think $11.99 or $12, I forget. But I do think they're really nice eyeshadows. I will leave my full review up in the cards right here. It is a good palette, I just don't need it. That's going to be the trend for most of these products, is that I just don't need them in my collection. I don't use them all the time, so that's why I am getting rid of them. I'm getting rid of these two Anastasia eyeshadows from the Self-Made palette. They are in Hot and Cold and Metallic Plum, and I just put them in this Makeup Forever Artist palette case, which I think is like $1. So here's Hot and Cold, and then Metallic Plum. So this one is Hot and Cold, this one is Metallic Plum. They're really nice eyeshadows, but I have other colors in my collection that are similar. I don't need to have depotted eyeshadows that I forget about in my Z palette. So those are the swatches. Beautiful colors. I have colors in my Too Faced Natural Love palette that are very similar and that are already in palette form, so I don't need these, and they will go on to a friend. Getting rid of this Urban Decay Single in Secret Service. It is a nice matte brown color. Here's what it looks like in the pan. It is a nice color, but for me, it's not dark enough to be a liner, but it's too dark to be a crease color. Here's a swatch of it. The glitter on my hand is another eyeshadow that I decided to keep, but that's what Secret Service looks like right here. Nice color, but I just don't need it. I have other browns in my collection. I don't need to keep a single. This one is pretty surprising, but I am passing on this MAC eyeshadow in Faerie Fayre, and it has a cool design on it. It's like a rose gold color. This is not as metallic as my L'Oreal Amber Rush, and I have other colors that are similar in my Too Faced Natural Love palette, and I did get a new Colourpop single, so here's what it looks like on my hand. Here's what it looks like in a swatch. It's very beautiful, but again, I have other colors that are similar, so I don't need to keep a single eyeshadow when I have some in palettes. Beautiful color though, and I hope a friend enjoys this. I'm getting rid of this Too Faced Shadow Insurance Deluxe sample. I'm using the last bit up of my current Too Faced Shadow Insurance right now, and I've just decided that it doesn't work for my eyes. It doesn't help with lasting power. It sometimes makes my eyeshadows crease, so I don't need to use up another full sample, so I'm getting rid of it. And then a Benefit product that I'm getting rid of is this Benefit Creaseless Cream Shadow in Birthday Suit. I actually went through one of these before and loved it, but this just makes my eyeshadows not last whatsoever, so that's what it looks like on my finger. Here's what it looks like. It is a really pretty taupey color, and here is a swatch of it. It is gorgeous, but it just makes my eyeshadows not last, and especially if I have my Naked Palette eyeshadows which already don't last as well anymore, if I have them on top, it just makes them go away so quickly, and it's just not worth it to me. I'm going to look for another cream shadow that I like better than this one, so this one is going bye-bye. Now on to some face products. I'm getting rid of this Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in Tropic Hues. So I have used a lot of this, but lately this has been so patchy on my face and it doesn't apply well. It is a really pretty color, but if it's not applying well, why have it? So that's what it looks like on my finger. And there's a swatch of it right here. It looks darker than that on my face. It's patchy and it just does not look good, so I'm getting rid of it. It might look better on someone else. It might just be hard to apply because of how small it is, but I'm getting rid of it because it's just not working for me anymore. I feel really guilty getting rid of this one, but this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. This was a gift from a friend, but it is too dark for me, which is so sad. There's what it looks like. It is a gorgeous highlighter. It is freaking beautiful. That's what it looks like on my finger. Look at that. That is a stunning highlighter. It's very similar to Champagne Pop from Becca, but this is darker and peachier. I'm really sad this doesn't work for me and that it's too dark, but it's so beautiful. I even bought this for a future giveaway, so it is a gorgeous highlighter. It works sometimes, but I really have to blend it, and I just don't want to work with it that much because it can look really dark and have like a stripe. So it just doesn't look good on me the majority of the time, so I'm sure a friend that's a little bit deeper than me will like this. I'm passing on this Too Faced Pink Leopard Blushing Bronzer. Here is what it looks like. This looks extremely muddy on me, and if I swirl it together, it just does not look good. I know a ton of people love this, but this just looks very muddy on me. Here is a swatch of it. Even if I try to pick up most of the pink ones, it just does not look good, so gonna be passing this on. It'll probably look better on someone who's darker than me so they can at least use this as a bronzer, but it just does not look good on me, which is so upsetting. Lastly, I have lip products, and they're both liquid lipsticks. I'm gonna be passing on this Elizabeth Mott Color is Bae lip lacquer, and this is just a deluxe size. It's a really bright liquid lipstick. It's just a bright red. That's what that looks like. If I'm going to wear a red, I like something a little bit more subdued. This is good for like Christmas, but I don't want to wait all year just to wear a bright red lip. So, gonna be getting rid of this. It's a good formula, and it doesn't have a smell to it. It's a nice pretty color, but it's not one that I use on the regular, so I don't want to keep it in my collection. This one is probably pretty surprising to you guys, but I'm getting rid of my Wet n Wild Give Me Mocha Liquid Catsuit. I just don't like the applicator with this color. So as you can see, it is a very big liquid lipstick applicator, and this is a darker nude color. The color dried down a little bit because I had to unload my camera because the memory card was full, but as you can see it did dry patchy. It does apply patchy going on because the applicator is so big and it pulls out too much product, and this would work better on someone with bigger lips, but if you have a big applicator on someone with small lips like me, it's kind of hard to work with. So the color is really pretty, but I did actually purchase a color similar to this from Colourpop with a smaller applicator, so I'm hoping that one is just as pretty as this one. It's a beautiful color if you want to work with it, but the applicator is just too big for my lips for how dark this color is. I love the shade Rebel Rose. I actually need to repurchase it again because I lost it while I was at a bar. It fell out of my wristlet, so I've been missing that color. But this formula of the Catsuit liquid lipsticks are really nice. I just wish they had a different applicator. I just wish it was a little bit smaller, but the packaging is really pretty as well. I almost forgot this one, but this is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in Out of the Blue. It's just a deluxe sample. Still comes with a lot of product. It is this beautiful royal blue color, but I just don't use pencil eyeliners and I just don't need it. So there's what a swatch of it looks like. Gorgeous color and great formula, but it's not something I use very frequently, so I don't want it just sitting around. But I'm sure a friend will really enjoy this because it is such a great formula and color. I just don't use pencil eyeliner all the time unless it's black. So those are all the products I'm decluttering. I tend to do these videos every couple months. I'm excited to pass these products on, and most of them are really good products. Some of them just stopped working for me, but the rest are just products that I don't need in my collection. I have things that are similar, etc. So I'm excited to pass these things on. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.